Hi guys, welcome to another video of what the fuck is she doing now? It's holiday quiche time! What's a quiche? Well, it's kind of like a frittata with a nice flaky crust. So this dish is pretty easy to make and you can put almost anything in it except the kitchen sink. Today we're going to use onion, cheese, scallions, eggs, broccoli, and soy chorizo. Now, if you are a meat eater, you can use any kind of meat like sausage, bacon, ham, anything that your little carnivore heart desires. But today we are using our soy chorizo and we're gonna slice through the plastic and we're gonna grill it up. Simmer on low heat and we'll start to chop up the rest of our vegetables. So here's when I was gonna insert a funny joke about how being a vegetarian for years, people always tell me that broccoli and Brussels sprouts, they scream when you cut them. And I thought it was a joke, but I just looked it up and it's actually real. They have ultrasonic screams when they're in distress. And even steaming them right now is actually having them scream. So I'm gonna skip this part and just move forward. Let's distract ourselves and cut some onion. Cut off both ends, put to the side, or just throw it in your garbage or your sink. Just get it out of your way. What I like to do is make a slim slice on the outer, what the hell am I saying? The outer peel, what is that? The outer layer. And that way you can take it off and then you can cut it. But don't eat it like that. So to avoid your eyes from tearing up or crying while you're cutting your onion, note this, that when you cut open an onion, that's when the fumes are released. So if you're cutting it in half, put the cut side down on the cutting board and that way you won't get as many fumes. The technique that I'm using today is making shallow cuts throughout the onion and then flipping it around and doing almost like a crosshatch on the other side. And this way, it's almost like everything is pre-cut for us. So if you take a look, now you can just cut down the onion and everything's finally chopped for you. Remember to be careful of your fingers and try to tuck them in so only your knuckles are exposed. And don't touch your eyes after you're cutting this onion. Next, we're going to add some EVOO. If you don't know what that slang is, it's extra virgin olive oil, if you've seen that around. And we're going to check on our screaming broccoli. And they look like they're suffering, so let's close that up. Throw in your onions with your chorizo skillet and let that simmer for about 10 minutes. Next, we are going to make our egg batter. Get a nice big bowl, some heavy cream. You're going to use some pie crust for later. But first, we're going to crack our eggs. We're going to crack our eggs into the bowl. If you don't know how, crack it on the side. Take both of your thumbs, put in the center, and peel away from the egg yolk. Once again, the side, thumbs, peel away. Oh, look at that, one-handed. That is some skill right there. That takes some practice, don't worry. So that was about 5 eggs, and now we're going to use about a half a cup of heavy cream. Whisk that around. You can either use a fork or a whisk if you have it. Either works. Do it till it's nice and smooth and creamy. So why I wanted to share this recipe with you is because after the holidays, we always have a ton of leftovers that we never know what to do with. So we just succumb to microwaving it or making a boring sandwich. But this way, you can have a meal that you can use either for breakfast or dinner. And you can add any of your leftovers from your ham to asparagus, a cheese board, and throw it in your eggs. Next, we are draining our broccoli. It's screaming, so I'm throwing it into this plastic container to set it to the side. And we'll use some for later. Chop, chop, chop. Scream, scream, scream. I've added our broccoli to our egg mixture, and we're going to whisk that around. And then next, we're going to season it with this delicious chorizo and onions. Just pour it in the bowl, and you're going to mix that around. When everything seems to be pretty blended, we're going to add our Trader Joe's garlic salt. And you can be pretty generous. This is the first seasoning that we're really doing to this dish. Mix it up. If you're still watching this video, I'd like to say thank you for sticking by my side as I develop this sincere, apologetic feeling of being a broccoli murderer. But next, we're gonna take some oil and spray it in our pie dish, and we're gonna try to open this pie crust. Here we go. Make sure it's room temperature at this point and not completely frozen. We're just gonna spread it out as best as we can and have it line our dish. So if your crust has a crack in it like this, don't worry, you can just pinch it back together, mold it around the dish. Don't fret, you can fix it. Also, if you're worried about your pie crust looking perfect or not so perfect like this, don't worry. This way it'll look like it's homemade and more rustic. Next, we're gonna make our egg wash for our crust. You're gonna separate the egg yolk from the white by using your egg shells, kind of like 2 little cups, and ladling the yolk in and out. In a separate bowl, you're gonna pour in your egg yolk, set your garbage to the side, and with your fork, whisk it up. We're going to use a basting brush to take all this yolk and spread it around our pie crust. And if you don't have one of these tools, you can just take a paper towel, crumble it up, dip it in your yolk, and spread it around your pie crust. Make sure you get your edges. Okay, what's next? I forgot. Oh yeah, we're gonna put this in the oven now and bake it at about 350 for like 10 minutes, and meanwhile, we'll prep the rest of the dish. While you're waiting for your crust to turn a golden brown, we're gonna cut up some scallion to garnish at the end. Once again, be careful of cutting your fingers, and if you're getting too close, tuck in your knuckles. Take your scallions, put it in a separate bowl, try not to make a mess like me, and then set it to the side, and then we'll throw it on top of our quiche at the end. Dun dun dun! It's time for the assembly. Pour in your gooey mixture into the crust, set this aside, and now we will put this in the oven and bake it for about 20 minutes. And there you go, guys, here's your quiche. Now cut it into slices, pair it with a salad, and you're good to go. Easy dinner. Thanks guys for watching another video of What the Fuck Is She Doing Now? Homemade holiday quiche. Full list of ingredients below.